In this video, I'm going to review my own woodwork. Thanks for click and play. Welcome to my bomb shelter basement workshop that still isn't really a workshop. If you want to know why, click on the video. Something amazing happened and it gave me an idea for a video. What was that amazing thing? One of my projects sold. Ooh. But can you guess which project? It was the gentleman's sausage. Oh, that's a horrible place. Can't hold the thing and the microphone at the same time. It was the gentleman's sausage. Right, the fertility statue. Probably seems a bit weird if you haven't been following the channel, so let me explain. During lockdown, there was a woman on the news doing an interview from home that had a rubber sausage on her bookshelf. Over Zoom, me and my friends thought it was hilarious, and the fact she displayed it so proudly, we assumed it was a housewarming gift. So we jokingly agreed the next person to buy a house is gonna get a gentleman's sausage. A couple of my friends actually bought a house. I went online to buy a wooden statue. It was going to cost me 30 quid for something that was 5 inches. And I'm really tight, so instead of paying 30 quid, I decided to make my own. And if I was making my own, I might as well make it massive. And the first video was born. So I did get a lot of compliments about that statue, and it was suggested that people might actually pay money for it. So a few years later, when I was skint, I decided to have a go at making a more detailed version and trying to sell it. And obviously I thought that was an amazing idea, so I made another one. I put a ridiculous price tag on them thinking they were art, and they never sold. But it was those two videos that kind of got me started doing regular YouTube content in my little basement workshop. So a big thank you to the penis. Now back to the story of this one selling and how it's inspired this particular video. Now this hasn't sold for the £1,000 price tag that I originally put on it. I've had to reduce it because it's kind of broken. When I originally made it, I really didn't have a clue what I was doing. I basically just stuck a load of scrap wood together. That wood was really soft. It was probably full of moisture because it was sat in my basement for ages. I glued it together in different directions. Some of it I think I even screwed together. And because of that, over the years, the wood's dried out and it started to form lots of splits. This section in the middle is small chunks of end grain. It's not going in the same direction as the rest of it, so it's popping out. It's sticking out. You can see it's cracked down there, loads of gaps around there, loads of gaps around there. Still not falling apart though. That kind of thing is happening on this bottom section where this single piece here seems to be trying to escape, and it's happening a little bit around these bits as well. Even on the side sections, these are kind of trying to separate themselves. Same on this side too, with a bigger separation. And on this back bit, again, we've got some end grain pieces that look like they're trying to escape. Those original end grain pieces having a massive gap down there. The top bit's definitely the most interesting, in a good way. There's all these little cracks that are forming in the wood, and they make it look really cool. And also, the ridges, the rings of the tree that you can see, they've become more pronounced and they've given it a kind of texture. So it's not all bad, some of it's good, but because it's not as perfect as I made it, I reduced the price massively. And that's probably why it sold. So that got me thinking, I am an amateur woodworker. Some of my projects haven't stood up to the test of time, some of them have. So it would be a good idea to review what actually worked and what didn't. And we're going to start with my very favorite thing I've ever made, the pizza board. This thing actually broke. I tried to make a video about repairing it, but it wasn't long enough, so...
Let's click and play. Welcome to my bomb shelter basement workshop. Today's video, I'm not even sure if this is going to be a video. If you're watching it, I guess it is. I want to fix my pizza board. In a previous video, I experimented making pizza boards. One of them I gave to a friend, one of them I kept myself. But over time, I've noticed that the plywood has started to form gaps. Sections have become pitted. It's actually quite rough. It's not as smooth as when I first made it. And there's a giant split down here. Now, since making these things, I'd like to think I've got a little bit better at crafting stuff, and I have a few new experiments I want to test on this. Hopefully that should improve any pizza boards I make in the future. So first I need to fix this giant split, so let's get into it. I don't have a fancy saw, so I'm just going to use this thing.
Woo! Even after fixing it, there is still loads of little cracks everywhere. I think that is down to the plywood having so much moisture when I first made it. I've now learnt from that. All my scrap plywood stays upstairs at the basement. But I absolutely love this thing, so if the cracks get bigger, I'm probably just gonna fix it again, or I might make a new one. If you want me to make a nice version of this, let me know in the comments. Now that we've finished the pizza tray, we're gonna move on to this. My first ever pallet wood project. This thing is very rough, very sketchy. I'm surprised it's still standing, but it is. The support sections here are just made by overlapping plywood, and then I've just screwed the hell out of them. Most of the edges are really rough, everything's kind of uneven. I just didn't do a very good job, but it still looks really cool, and it still does what it's supposed to. Now, I designed it all around this amplifier right here, and then I made enough spaces all the way around here to fit different consoles because I'm a bit of a nerd. And obviously there's space on top to put different things. There is also a section at the back that has split off because I didn't have enough pallet wood, I don't think. But yeah, it's still really solid. I'm still really happy with the design. I love these little floating shelves that I've done. Like, I think that's really cool. I can't believe they actually work. So yeah, I'm happy with this one. This one was a result. Next, we're going to talk about chopping boards because I made a huge mistake and you guys let me know about it. Now, I was going to do this bit in my kitchen, but the lighting is terrible. So I'm in my second kitchen, on wheels. It's a camper van. Right, chopping boards. I've done quite a few chopping board videos. They're really nice and easy if you're a beginner like me. This was my first proper one. It's a random end grain chopping board, and it still looks awesome. I think this is one of the first ones where I gave it a coating of epoxy and kind of sanded it in. Didn't work perfectly because there's patches here and there that are glossy and shiny, and then there's other patches that are a tiny bit rough. But none of the wood has separated. It's only got a slight bit of warping along the top, and even though it's for sale, I kind of use this on a daily basis. Maybe I should take this one down. Now, in a follow-up video, I experimented and I made two chopping boards. One of them was a really basic end grain one. That one sold £35. Thank you very much. But this one I had to take down. So for this one, I used outdoor timber and I also used wood stain. Two things that you guys told me in the comments really shouldn't be around food. So yeah, I didn't sell this one. It hangs around my house because I think it still looks cool. Sometimes I actually use it as a serving tray. But even after all this time, it's still pretty good. There's a few small gaps appearing around the small pieces of wood. I did use epoxy to coat this one, so it's still perfectly smooth. But the interesting thing is it's got this warped edge like the other one has. I don't know why that happens. If anyone wants to tell me in the comments, they can do. So this was kind of a success, but also a massive failure. And lastly, we're going to talk about this, because it should live there, but now it lives up there. This is my attempt at a very quirky desk tidy that has a game controller and a phone stand with wireless charging that I designed to match my pen holder that I'd made in a previous video. Like I mentioned with the pizza board and the charcuterie board, this one has a lot of splits because I used a lot of scrap plywood. This one actually has some really major splits in it. There is a massive one there where it's completely warped. There's a few little ones like here, and eventually the phone charger actually stopped working as well. But that's not even the reason I don't use it anymore. This is the reason I don't use it anymore. Well, this and this. These are from my most recent Christmas gift pallet wood video. This is a game controller holder and this is a phone holder. The game controller holder works much better than the other one does. It looks cooler with the contrast of the white and the black, and it's just easier to position on the desk. And this thing is the phone holder beer mat. It's probably one of the easiest, simplest things I've ever made, but it is so useful. It's that useful I actually made one to use at work as well. Stick it on the desk, stick your phone in it. You can literally move it anywhere. It's dead easy to use. And when you're not using it as a phone holder, you can stick your drink on it. Pat on the back for me. Because it's small and compact, you can just take it anywhere. Sometimes when I'm cooking, I'll bring it over to the kitchen, put it on the table next to me when I'm watching a film. Like I said, I made one for work to use there as well. After 5 months, there's no warping, no splitting, no nothing, which is really good because this was an experiment. So I probably should do a video where I make better versions of these. The same can't be said for my attempt at making one that helps the phone make music louder. I don't know how to describe that. The idea was, there's a couple of holes in there, holes at the side, you put your phone in it and it makes the music louder. It didn't work that well, it looks kind of ugly, and for some reason it has split into pieces. That one was a fail. Now this one does actually have some interesting flaws. I had the wood go in 2 different directions, so end grain, end grain, end grain, end grain, end grain, end grain, and as it's dried out, the end grain pieces have got slightly raised. So it's not perfectly smooth anymore. You can feel the different pieces of wood as it goes across, but it still works really well and it still looks cool. So these 2 were a success. Woohoo! And that's the end of my boring review video. It was a bit of a filler episode. It was the only thing I could do whilst my workshop is in pieces. Or so I thought. My basement is chaos right now because I am actually having a go at trying to make a proper woodwork video again, but it's not going too well. And another massively ironic thing, selling this was the whole inspiration for this video, but since making it, the buyer cancelled. I sent him a message making sure he was aware of all the flaws before I started packaging it up, and a couple of days later, no response but cancellation on eBay. So it's still for sale. But that's your lot for now, so as usual, if you've got any tips, questions or suggestions, stick them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll see you in the next video.
Whenever you need my love, need my love.